has suffered, according to Yeshayahu 53, but has departed us because we rejected him. It's in the Siddur. To this day. But when you're blind, you're blind. It doesn't matter if it's right in front of your face. It doesn't matter. In the Jewish Siddur, go into any Jewish bookstore, look under the Yom Kippur liturgy, you will find the prayer that was written and added in the 9th century CE that I am now going to read to you. Ready? Every Siddur. Messiah, our righteousness, has turned from us. We are in terror. There is none left to justify us. You hear that? They're praying to God, G-O-D, whoever that is, as in Frog. God, Road, Frog. And many gods, there's only one Yahweh. And they're asking Yahweh, he says, we're terrified. Why? There is no one left to justify us. What does justify mean? Declare me just as if I've never sinned. Our iniquities and the yoke of our transgressions he did bear. For he was wounded for our transgressions. Don't miss this now. Wow. He carries our sins upon his shoulders, that we may find forgiveness for our iniquities. And by his stripes we are healed. A non-believing Jewish poet added this to the Siddur that is in every Jewish Siddur for the Yom Kippur prayer. O Eternal One, the time has come to make us a new creation. I'm sorry if you're like, if I left you behind in Arkansas. That's your problem. I got some folks that are going with me. Talk to me, somebody. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I'm not looking for a place called hope. I'm looking for the truth. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. He carried our sins upon his shoulder that we may find forgiveness for our iniquity, and by his stripes we are healed. O Eternal One, the time has come to make us a new creation. From the vault of heaven, bring him up. From the vault of heaven, bring him up. Out of cedar, draw him forth, that he may make his voice heard to us in Lebanon. A second time, by the hand of Yinan. One of Messiah's names will be Yinan, according to the rabbinic interpretation of Psalm 72:19. Our Jewish people every Yom Kippur not only pray for forgiveness, they're saying, but even though we're praying for forgiveness, there's still no one left to justify us, to forgive us, because our Messiah, the righteous one, has departed from us because he was wounded for our sins. Our sins took him away from us. Our iniquities took him away from us. Our uncleanliness took him away from us, and he's departed from us. That's what every Jewish person prays every Yom Kippur, and they don't even, they just read the book. Some rabbi wrote it, and this 9th century poet added this part to the Siddur, so they just... Sometimes it's good to stop doing this and to start doing this. Those of you on radio, I'm sorry, one day we'll get you upgraded to video. And you really appreciate how nuts I am. My goodness. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you can be so busy doing this and looking for the letter of the Torah that you miss the Mashiach and the spirit behind the Torah, somebody. Man, I mean, you talk about blind. This is a clean little secret, though. Because a lot of rabbis knew the clean one was Yeshua, the suffering Mashiach. How many have ever heard of a Barbanel? A Barbanel. Do you know, how many know who a Barbanel was? He is a legendary figure in Jewish history. He stood up to King Ferdinando and Queen Isabella and spoke on behalf of the Jewish people lest they be expelled from Spain. So like Rambam and Rashi, Barbanel is considered a great Jew who was a military, a government official who had the koach and the strength to stand up before the king and the queen and to demand the salvation of the Jews from being expelled from Spain in the Spanish Inquisition. That was a Barbanel. Hello? Now here's what a Barbanel said about Isaiah 53. This is the opinion of our learned men in the majority of their commentaries, their midrashim, that Yeshayahu 53 speaks of Mashiach. This is our clean little secret. Rabbi Yafta ben Ali, second half of the 10th century. That's interesting. Ben Ali. Rabbi Yafet ben Ali, second half of the 10th century, said, I for myself am inclined to regard Isaiah 53 as alluding to the Messiah. Abraham Farisol, 1451 to 1526, says, in chapter Isaiah 53 there seems to be considerable resemblances and allusions to the work of the Christian Messiah. Oh, what a shock. I guess I'm blown away. And to the events which are asserted to have happened to him, so that no other prophecy is to be found, the gist and subject of which can be so immediately applied to him. In other words, he's basically saying, help, I'm Jewish, and the Christian God is in my Bible. How appeared for me a Christian God in the middle of the Bible? Hallelujah. People, they don't know me, they hear me do all these different accents, and they think I'm picking on them or anything further than the truth. I'm really a ventriloquist in my night job. I'm an impressionist at night. I just do this during the day. But anyway, I mean, he's saying, woo! You know, and the reason Jewish people don't read Isaiah 53 in the synagogue, in the Haftarah readings, in the cycle of Haftarah readings, is they don't need a little Jewish lady coming to them and saying, Rabbi, what is Jesus doing in my Bible? We don't believe in Jesus. So they don't need that. They don't need that trouble. So they skip Isaiah 53 in the Haftarah portions. They go from Isaiah 51, 52, and then they jump to 55. Because if you're a rabbi and you're making $80,000 a year, trust me, the last thing you need, darling, is a little booby on the front row saying, Rabbi, what's Jesus doing? Did you mess up this book? Ooh, so Isaiah 53 has a very, very similar resemblance to the Christian Messiah. Well, P.S., darling, before there wasn't a Christian, there was a Jewish Messiah. And he was the Messiah of Israel before the Christians adopted him and refused to walk in his Torah. But they are our brothers and sisters, and we need to pray that they see the whole truth. Oh, here's another big one. There's Rambam, there's Ramban, and this is another big Jewish rabbi. Gersonides, 1288 to 1344 CE, commenting on Deuteronomy 18:18. In fact, Mashiach is such a prophet, as it is stated in the Midrash on the verse, behold, my servant shall prosper. Yalchut Shechimon, ascribed to Rabbi Shimon Kara, 12th century, says this about Mashiach. In Isaiah 52, 13 through 53. The King Mashiach, I think I touched about this earlier, but I'll say it again. The King Mashiach is greater than the patriarchs, as it is said, my servant shall be high, lifted up, and lofted exceedingly. So Rabbi Shimon Kara attributes this passage to the King Messiah. How many rabbis do you need? Rabbi after rabbi after rabbi after rabbi. Our clean little secret. Tanchuma, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Rabbi Nachman in Tanchuma says this. The word man in this passage, every man a head for his house, in Numbers 1:4, refers to Mashiach, son of David. As it is written, behold the man who is Semach, the branch. Back to Talmud, Sanhedrin 98b. As we wind our way through. Talmud, Sanhedrin 98b. Moshiach, says the Talmud. Now this is in the Talmud. Are you enjoying? Yes. I said, are you enjoying? Yes. You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yes. Talmud says in Sanhedrin 98b, Moshiach, what is his name? The rabbis say the leprous one. Those of the house of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, the author or the compiler